Well, once again, hi everybody. What I'm up to now is winter prep. I'm starting to get ready for winter really. I've started chopping one or two of my bits down across the back. The budley is going to go very shortly and that sort of thing. But what I'm doing today is, as you can see, I've got my vac out, so a really good winter vac now. Hoover everything out. Thankfully I've got no algae to worry about. So I've got my hoover on, I've got it connected into my sieve, so we're about ready to go. There is quite a bit of dirt on the bottom there, I haven't done it for quite a while. So that is the order of the day, is give it a really good vacuum out. Start to get ready for winter, start to get things insulated, get the filters ready, think about shutting down what I'm not going to use. All the things you do when you're coming into winter. Plus we want to save a bit of electric this year, if we can. So I won't be heating my pond to 16 or 17 degrees like I was last year. I'm going to try to hold it at 13 and see what that costs. If we can hold it around the 13 degrees, I'll be happy. But we should just have to see how it goes and see what the costs are. But there you go, there's not a lot we can do about it. If I have to, I'll shut it off for a month, give them a winter. I don't really want to, because our winters don't get cold enough anymore. If you're going to give a winter, you want to be getting down to 4 degrees. Get the other side of Aromanus alley so that it kills the parasites as well. But our ponds, the last couple of years, have only been getting to about 6-7 degrees, which isn't cold enough to kill parasites. You cause your immune system drops, but the parasites don't. You've got to get down to 5-4 degrees to kill parasites. So the parasites are still surviving and your koi immune system will drop. But I should put a little bit of salt in as well, as you usually do over winter, just to give them a hand, help them out a bit. But at the moment I'm just in the process of getting it hoovered out. So I'll get that done. You've seen me do it 1,000 times, so I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'll get that done, and that's the start of the winter prep. See you all in a bit. Well, which I didn't think was going to be a long job. It's now 5:30. So I've had a full afternoon at vacuuming. Boy, there was some dirt in there. But we got it out. As you can see, the water's not up to much now. But we got it out, thank goodness. So now I've just got to pack all this away, get tidied up, and it'll be my tea time. This should clear in a couple of hours. The old RDF's working flat out, so that should soon clear it up. And the upflow will take the fines out, so I shall have to give them a bit of a rinse off tonight later on, after they've been working so hard. But a job well done. I've done all the walls, I've done the floor, I've done everything. It's just a matter of keeping it tidy now till we get the covers on, and that'll be it then. So I'm going to get cleared up and have my tea. Well, once again, hi everybody. What I've got planned for today, as you know, it's all winter prep now. I want to get my pond covers out from down beside the shed here. I want to get them out and I want to give them a bit of a going over, paint them up, and just check all the tape on the actual polycarbonate sheets, make sure that's all sealed well. Basically getting them ready for putting onto the pond. The pond temp has took a big dip in the last couple of days. It's down to about 13.8. The old water temperature's coming down quite quick. I was holding 15, but as this week goes on it's getting colder and colder. So it's soon going to be time to strike the old heater up. I'm not going to heat it like I did last year, basically because I don't think I'll be able to afford to with the price of electric. So what I'm going to do is just try to hold it at 13 degrees this year and see what sort of cost that runs at. But I want to get it insulated well. I've got several bits to do, so that's what I'm on with today. I'm going to get started on the pond covers first and get them ready. Okay, I've got the first one in the shed, but as you can see, doesn't leave me much room to move about. It's the full length of the shed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm taking the actual polycarbonate sheets out. I'm going to take them out, clean them up and redo the tape on some of them. If we look on the end here, this tape's had it, it's gone, and this tape is quite important to make it so it's like double glazing. So I want to replace the tape. It's a special tape that it does let water out but keeps the air in here. It's important that the air in between these polycarb sheets doesn't let the outside air in, because the warmth from one side and the cold from the other stops this side making the other side cold. Basically the air gap between them is quite important. So I want to renew the tape on this one. You can see it's all broken off at the end here, so I want to get some more tape on them just to make sure that they're sealed. But they're not 100% sealed. Like I say, they will allow damp and water out and keep the air in there stable, so it don't get the outside air in between the sheets. So I'm going to whip these out and go from there. Right, I've got the actual frame cleaned down now. It's all give it a good wire brushing basically, and this is the tape, the special tape you have. Mine's got a bit battered, I'm afraid. You can see the perforations in there. That's to go over the hole, and it wraps round, obviously wraps round the same as this tape did, round both sides with the holes along here. That is to let the moisture out but keep the air in. It's pretty much like a double glazing on your house. Between the two panes of glass you've got a void of air, a gap of air, and that's what helps insulate the house. It's that air that's important. So obviously we want to seal that in. We don't want any of the outside air getting in there. So I'm going to get that done, press on, and then get this painted. Okay, there we go. That's the new tape on one end. You can perhaps see them little holes now that actually let the damp out. But that's a new strip across that end. That's one done. So now I'm going to get this one painted, and that'll be one down and 6 more to go. I'll catch you guys later. Well, okay, next morning. So it's all painted and dried. This is the first one still, by the way. What needed retaping on the actual sheets has been done, so they're all ready to go back in. So it's a matter of just screwing them back in and then on with the next one. I'll press on and catch you guys later. There we go, number 2 painted. So now it's just a matter of letting it dry and putting the sheets back in. Here's a quick tip for anybody. I would think a lot of you would know this anyway, but if you don't, a quick handy tip. This brush I used yesterday, and to save cleaning it out every day, all I do is just put it in, I'll show you if I can do it one-handed, put it in a polythene bag. If you put it in a polythene bag, just see if we can take that out, just to keep the air off it so the air doesn't get to it. You're ready to go again the next day. As you can see, that's still wet and still pliable. It's just as if you'd just stopped painting. Yeah, ready to go again. So if you just put it in a polythene bag, I save all these little polythene bags, and if I've got the same job the next day, I just put the brush in it, roll it up, make sure it can't get any air to it, and then just take it out the next day and carry on again. You'll find that quite handy, especially if you're using, like I say, the same brush the next day. It'll save you keep washing it out every night. Right, so it's a matter of now, I'll put this back in the cellophane, it's a matter of now getting the sheets back in it. Catch you later. Well, good morning everybody. I'm not quite so sure about good morning. What we've got going on here is horrendous. The wind is terrible. It's really blowing. Whether you'll notice it on this microphone or not, I don't know, but boy, it is powerful. We've got branches and leaves in an abundance coming down. I'm having to clean my skimmer out about once every 2 hours. It just gets blocked solid with leaves. They're falling in the pond like snow. And as you can see down the bottom there, we got leaves everywhere. The trouble is they drop into the yard and it blows them all into the nooks and crannies that you can't get at. I did actually clean this up last night. That was my last job last night, to clean the leaves up, and this is what we've got today. So a blustery old lot, I'm afraid. So I'm not looking to do a lot outside today. I wish I'd got my pond covers on at the moment, because it would have kept a lot of them out the pond. Oh dear, it was worse this morning. It's eased a little bit at the moment. but it is, the old wind is thrashing about a bit as we're going on. But the temperature is about 17 degrees here, so it's not cold, it's just very, very windy. The sun's trying to break through, not having too much success, I must say, but yeah, so leaves absolutely everywhere. They're working their way round the pond into the skimmer, and I'm having to clean that out about every hour and a half, 2 hours, because it just gets blocked solid. And loads more to come if you look at the trees. We had started to pack the garden stuff up for the winter. We had started getting that all stacked up at the back, out the way, in the garden room. My pond covers are there, look ready to go on. But it's still too warm to put them on yet. I don't want to put them on. I've just got to put up with these leaves. But there you go. Not a lot we can do about it. In the filter house, as you can see, I've got 1 or 2 bits in here I've brought in out the wind that was blowing about. But everything's good in here. Everything seems to be going fine at the moment. I've shut the skimmer down for the winter, the protein skimmer. I've shut it down for the winter now. So I've just got the upflow running. And I have actually switched my pond heater on, but it's not cut in yet. Basically that's just the running wattage, 8 watts, 7 or 8 watts it runs. That's just what it uses when it's switched on. It's not actually cut in. I've got it set to 13 degrees. I don't want the pond going any lower than 13 degrees. So it's cost me about 11 pence. It's been going 2 or 3 days. So it's not costing anything until it does cut in. But as you can see, we're doing quite well at the moment. The pond temperature is 15, so I'm holding 15 in the pond, so that's not too bad at all. The fish are quite warm, but the minute I chuck any food in, I've got to chuck sinking food in because it just blows it straight round and in the skimmer. So I'm having to use sinking food at the moment. I did chuck them a few the mealworms in, but within minutes they were straight in the skimmer. The wind is just blowing straight across that pond and blowing everything straight in the skimmer. So they ain't getting any mealworms at the moment. They did manage to grab 1 or 2, but that was about it. We've just got to sit this out and see how long it lasts. But all's good in here, no problems at the moment, thank goodness. Well, after a week of being at it, mind you, I've done 1 or 2 other things in between, but I'm on the last one. I've got it all painted up. I've got new tape on the ends of the actual polycarbonate. I did really want to change that polycarb, but it's just got too expensive, so I've had to make do, and the old 10mm going back, but tape both ends of that, all painted up, and this is the last one, thank goodness. So I've just got to put the polycarb now back in the frame, screw it in, and my pond covers are done. Thank goodness for that. That took a lot longer than I ever thought it would. But it's done now at the moment. Sorry if there's a pump buzzing. I've got the air pump on the pond at the moment. Yeah, all done. Well pleased with that. Well, good morning guys. As you may notice, the buddleia has been cut back again this year. It's been chopped right down. I want to cut this one down a bit. It's getting a bit out of hand, so I'm going to chop that back as well. It's getting massive, taking over. So I've got to get that cut back. And then I'm going to get the back stays in that hold my pond covers along that back edge. I want to get that done. And the problem this year is going to be that little bog filter with all that baby tears in it. How I'm going to get over that. I don't really want to leave it out to the frost, so I'm not quite sure what to do with that yet, but I'm going to have to think of something. And I should want to insulate it a little bit as well. Keep the frost off it and insulate the pipe to it, so I've got that to sort out as well. So I've got my work cut out at the moment. All's good in the pond, koi are all good. They're all up this end because the heater's just cut in. It's got down to 13 degrees, so the heater's cut in and it's sending a bit of warm water back there. I don't want it dropping below 13. I'm going to try to hold it at 13 degrees, but they're all enjoying that at the moment, all up this end. So I'm going to get me shears and chop that thing back now, get that cut back, and then I can have a look at me pond stays, get the back supports in for the covers. But I'm going to get on with that now, get it sorted out. Well guys, as you can see, I got things trimmed down but just kept going. So the buddleia has now gone, and there was a couple of little conifers in front of it that I've taken out. They was all dead on the back. There was only a couple of branches on the front where it could get a bit of daylight that survived, so they've gone as well. So now I've got a big lump of garden here to fill in. But boy, did that buddleia take some getting up. The roots were about an inch thick at least. I've had to chop them off and hope for the best. But it's gone, and the two little conifers are gone. That one's had a good trim back. It's been hacked right back. So I've got to put something in there now. What, I'm not sure, but something. So a little bit of work to do on the back there. But boy, that was hard work. But we can actually see the stones across the front now on that bit. So I've just got to clean everything up, clear everything up, dig that over and plant something in it. Okay, there we go, it's in. I've got it in the other side. Looks small in there, that little fern, doesn't it? Looks big in the pot. Probably bigger than it looks in that bit of ground. But I might put the other two in either side yet. I haven't made my mind up, but that's it done. I was sorry to see the buddleia go, to be honest, because the butterflies that we used to get on it, crikey, we had about 30 butterflies on it at one time, year before last, and it really was nice, and bumblebees galore on it. But I'm afraid since they built that housing estate next door, we saw about 20 altogether this year, so we didn't see many at all. So I didn't find a lot of point in keeping it. I didn't see any bumblebees. It didn't really work out having it. That's all I kept it for, was the butterflies that came and the bumblebees. But there you go, these things happen. So it's gone. And boy, did that take some getting out. Wow. They're still building the shed next door, so if there's banging, I do apologise. But that's it. That's that side of the pond done. Well, good afternoon one and all. It doesn't look very sunny, but that tree's in the way. We've got a lot of sun here this afternoon. It's quite nice, really warm. But I've been beavering away. I've got the back struts in that hold the pond covers. They're all in and done. I've done away with another little conifer bush that was all dead at the back in that corner there. That's all gone. I've got to trim this one down so I can actually get the covers across, so that's going to need a little bit more trimming down. I've also got a branch here on this one that's got to come off because that's higher than the pond covers. So a little bit of trimming to do, and then I can put my covers on when I like, which is quite good really. I did have a morning this morning clearing all the leaves up. They are starting to come back slowly, but I've got them all cleaned up. They're all gone. I've cleaned my skimmer out yet again. There's one or two I see waiting to go into there. But yeah, that's it. So now it's just a matter of getting my pond covers on when I'm ready. I've got to do a little bit at the back there. I think what I'm going to do is sheet over the top of that with clear polythene. Get some builder's polythene. Sheet over the top of that, and that'll just keep the frost off it, I think, and it should pick a bit of the warmth up from the pond, so things in there should be okay, hopefully, and that should sort that out. Well guys, I'm going to call that it for this one, so I shall see you all in the next one. So you all take care, stay safe, and as always, happy ponding.